Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Plotlines. I'm your host, Connor, and today we're going to be looking at the trailer that was released, I think yesterday, or it was either released yesterday. Yeah, it was released yesterday for Cabrini. This is about Saint Francis Cabrini, an Italian immigrant who came over to take care of the poor, it looks like. Now, I'm not as familiar with her story, so I'm excited to learn more as we go through this and as we get to sort of the story that they're going to be telling. But this movie is being it's being distributed by Angel Studios, and it is directed and written by Alejandro Monteverde, who also, I believe, was the director of Sound of Freedom, which I hope all of you are excited. Rick Barrett and I are going to do a review once he's seen the movie. I think the movie was fantastic. So just be look forward to that. Very excited to talk about The Sound of Freedom. Okay, it looks like he was the writer and director for Sound of Freedom. So Alejandro Monteverde. I don't know who the producers are. I'd be very interested to know, but I can't find that information at the moment. Anyways, Angel Studios is participating in the distribution of this movie, and I'm not a big fan of The Chosen, and they distribute The Chosen, but they also seem to be putting forward some really high quality movies, such as Sound of Freedom, which very high quality. Cabrini, I mean, I've seen the trailer, but we're gonna watch together. It also seems very high quality. Okay, so let's get to it. Uh, in the comments, please let me know what you think of the trailer. Are you excited about this movie? We'll see. I'm gonna sort of stop and start, and we're gonna talk about it. Okay.
I see trees of green,
Dear reader,
red roses too.
New York is built upon the dead.
I see them bloom for me and you.
I tuoi genitori, Paolo?
And I think to myself,
Mio papà si è suicidato
what a wonderful.
e mia mamma è morta di tifo in carriola.
I see skies of.
Okay, so they're really hitting home on the sort of the impoverished nature of the city of New York during a time of big immigration. So that's kind of one of the dangers of immigration, is that once you get there and labor became very cheap and people weren't paying their workers very much money for the work that they were doing, this becomes a danger, and it's very disturbing stuff. And sort of this child whose parents are dead, one killed himself and the other died of typhus. It's just tragic and tugging at the heartstrings, which Alejandro Monteverde seems very good at doing that. That's very impressive.
Blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself,
Madre, un telegramma dal Vaticano.
I think it's interesting that they're just using subtitles. This is also something that I've noticed in Sound of Freedom. They're not just all speaking English. This is, when they would be speaking Spanish, they're speaking Spanish, and this, when they're speaking Italian, they're speaking Italian. So I find that interesting.
If I made you the first woman ever to lead an overseas mission, the whole world would look to you as proof of what woman can or cannot accomplish.
It is really important to understand that the Pope is very important in St. Francis Cabrini going to the United States. I believe she wanted to go to China originally before conversing with the Pope. And though I do think that in the trailer it makes it sound like the Pope is a little more um, critical, but I don't think so.
If we are to build an empire of hope, my sisters, it
An
seems we
empire
must
of
first
hope.
conquer New York.
Isn't that just great? It just sounds amazing to conquering New York. Like the idea of just bringing the Catholic faith, bringing hope to people, bringing love and support, and helping these impoverished people. Obviously, it also seems very intense in something like The Sound of Freedom, where it's the it's more about physically saving people from like sex trafficking and stuff like that. But this is a different type of saving people. As they just showed that poverty leads to different kinds of death and suffering.
Welcome to America.
So you let a woman push you around, and
It's interesting. John Lithgow is the mayor, I think, in this, which I think is pretty interesting to see him in. If you've seen him in The Crown, he was Winston Churchill. But one of the interesting things about his character is sort of very much sort of the waspy perspective, I would say. And he's saying like you're letting a woman push you around to the archbishop. The archbishop, if St. Francis Cabrini was pushing him around on the jobs of the church of priests, if she wanted to be a priestess herself, like if she wanted to control a liturgy and that type of thing, like that, it would be understandable if you didn't want to be pushed around or something. But Lithgow's character is basically saying, if she is having agency, if she's going out there for the benefit of others, you're following her lead in this. Which everything has its place in the Catholic Church. And I mean, not everything good has its place in the Catholic Church. And women have their special place in the Catholic Church. And if the movie Cabrini shows that, it will be very helpful, because women are plenty heroic. It just not when they pretend to be men or try to be men. Feminism is the opposite of hopefully what this movie is showing.
Italian woman. Is that how you run your church?
Gentlemen, open your hearts.
You are to leave New York and never return.
Obviously, it's interesting she gets pushed back even in the church.
Who the hell do you think you are?
I am a woman, and I am Italian. And we are all human beings. We are all the same.
It's a shame that you're a woman, Mother. You would have made an excellent man.
No, men could never do what we do.
Now, I just want to say is that when they say something like that, men can never do what we do. I think as long as it's in the context of the film, it is meaning men and women have their different places, their different expertise. If it's, however, sort of this feminist version of that, where it's like women are better than men, which is, that's preposterous. Men are better at women. Are better at certain things than women are, but women are better at men or better at doing certain things than men. So, if it's the case that she's better at doing what she's doing, standing up for these poor immigrants in some sense, I think that's okay. That's one thing. But if this is some sort of feminist movement, I hope it's not. It can, and I wonder if it's just cut a certain way to get people's attention. If it is, then I guess so be it. This is the culture we live in. If we want to get people's attention, you have to tell them something that maybe isn't the full truth to get them to go. So it's very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this progresses. And you know Alejandro Monteverde's writing seems to be very excellent, and I'm very excited to see more of his movies. And I'm gonna go look back. I think there are other movies he's done other than Sound of Freedom, but this makes me want to watch his movies more and more. So thank you all for watching. Rick Barrett and I will be doing a review of Sound of Freedom, so please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to that. Thank you all, and God bless.